Om Neelambujashyamalkomalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Allusions to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus. He is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. The mystical meaning we have given to you before. Here in Ramcharitmanas, Balakanda, Doha number 23 and onwards. The glory of japa of divine name. Tulsidas Ji goes on giving insight into that japa. Turning your mind to God, a very simple method is adopting a mantra. And Rama mantra is prescribed by Saint Tulsidas. Vedas prescribed Om. There is no contradiction. It's Om that has become more. In any field, when a person becomes more experienced, he uses a slight modification. Om is modified into Ram, and it has much more to feed the mind than Om. If you have just Om, you have to have a very philosophical study of the Vedas. But if you have Ram, you have a whole different story. You have the whole story of Ram. The name Ram, the mantra Ram, is a gateway to two aspects of God, Sagun and Nirgun. These two stages, they are normally viewed as step number 1, step number 2. But in the mystical study, both intermingle. In other words, early in the morning you may start meditating on God as Rama, as a form. Later you may meditate on same Rama as Brahman, the Absolute, without form, without name, and there will be no contradiction. One type is called Nirgun, another type is called Sagun. In Sagun, you are using mental concepts, your feelings. Feelings predominate in Sagun. Thinking dominates in Nirgun. And ordinarily, you see a sequence. Sagun is easier than Nirgun. So first step is Sagun, second step, advanced step is Nirgun. But this mathematical precision doesn't hold good in spiritual life. Because there are times when Sagun is superior. It's more effective for your personality than Nirgun. These two types of bhaktas are compared to the monkey baby and cat baby. Monkey baby is Nirgun Upasaka. He does not need. In other words, the monkey mother doesn't hold on to the child. The child that has hold on to the monkey mother. And in a cattish example, it's not the baby that holds on to the mother. The mother holds on to the baby. In Saguna aspect, you have to hold on to, rather you allow God to hold on to you. You develop that type of love, that God is holding me. In Nirguna aspect, you are responsible to come close to God. You have to hold on to God. But these are verbosities. The reality is one and the same. You move through Saguna and progress in the level of Nirguna until neither Saguna nor Nirguna you transcend any mode of worship. So without going to that direction, here Tulsidas says, the name Rama is greater than Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. So forget about the confusion. Stick to the name. Whether you are qualified for Sagun or for Nirgun. In both ways, the name will enable you to succeed. Nirgun te ehi bhati bar naam prabhav apar kahau naam bar ram te nij vichar anusar. So, name Rama is greater than Saguna. Rama as presented in a human form. And name Rama is greater than Nirgun, where God is not viewed with form, but with divine attributes. And the name is the mantra, the divine name or divine mantra, leads you to Rama in both aspects, Saguna, Nirguna. Speaking highly in a figurative language, the name is greater than Saguna and Nirguna aspects of God, because the name is easiest. As you japa of divine name, you are led towards God realization. Now, another point that's being brought out, when you study avatara like Rama, Krishna, there are so many stories. They are all fascinating stories. They have their great importance. You should be inspired by those stories, but you should not push your mind towards history, that once upon a time Rama lived. Now start calculating what might have been that time. And become engrossed in finding places that were visited by Rama. Even finding people who can show you rocks that still contain footprints of Rama. That has its own reality. Even that I'm not underestimating. Because the entire world is God. And if you start believing that God is in a little rock, there's no harm at all. Only harm is when you believe that only in the rock that I have there is God and nowhere else. Then you are moving backward. The main idea, when you read this story, the story should fascinate you. But do not let your mind go back to 1,000 years before. Let your mind turn towards the reality, present reality. That Avatara is as present as he was in Treta Yuga. And now that present Avatara is more powerful than the real Avatara. Because the real Avatara came and he went away. But the Avatara that you are now worshipping will go on, unending. In every individual, the whole Ramayana will be enacted. The soul is essential Rama. Viveka Buddhi, discriminative knowledge that shows you the difference between self and not self. That's Sita Devi. Rama must break the bow of attraction to the world process. Because pravritti, marry Sita. Having married, Rama has to destroy the entire demon folk book, and that has a lot of stories. All dark forces that come in the group of malas, gross impurities, vikshepa, subtle impurities, ignorance, egoism, all this is a demoniac kingdom. And Rama demolishes that kingdom, destroys it. Same thing you have to do. The soul within you has to become wedded to Vivek Buddhi, discriminative intellect, and wage a war against all the demoniac forces. And all the details are implied. In a very broad way, you have to become involved in integral yoga. Yoga is one word. To understand properly, you must understand its 4 aspects. Aspect action, emotion, will and reason. So your action aspect should become karma yoga. Emotion aspect should become bhakti yoga. Willing aspect should become dhyana yoga, yoga of meditation. And reason aspect, jnana yoga. All these 4 are interdependent. So you may focus your attention only on one of the 4, thinking that you don't care. But if you are progressing, you will progress in all the 4 aspects. Therefore, 4 types of devotees have been described by Tulsidas. And they are very popularly known, and I'm giving you a new interpretation. Those 4 types of devotees imply becoming an integral devotee of Rama, or integral devotee of God. Who are the 4 types? Artha. Artha means in distress. When you are handling karma yoga, karmas, situations come to you, they cannot be handled by. You are going in a plane and suddenly plane has been kidnapped. There's fire all around, very roof falls. I'm just giving you some crude illustration. There are illustrations where you are insulted and hurt. In those conditions, artha bhakti, distress. So karma yogis must develop how to turn the mind to God whenever there is a distressing situation, and to see how adversity has gone away, leaving you with inner strength. So much so that you understand your distressing situation as an austerity in divine plan. So that's called Artha Bhakti in a broad way. The next one is known as Artharthi Bhakta, a devotee who loves God for resources. This is 2 types of meaning I'm giving you. The popular meaning, people who love God in distress. And when distressing situation goes away, the love goes away also. That's Artha Bhakti. And in a profounder way, any karma yogi is a Artha Bhakta, doing the will of God. And it allows you to become deeply surrendered to God. The next step of bhakti is artharthi, having resources. What are the resources for divine movement? The resources are Daivi Sampat, divine qualities, virtuous qualities, developing humility, generosity, compassion, truthfulness, equanimity of mind, and you can go on thinking of all different virtues. You turn to God for these resources, divine resources. That's called artharthi bhakti. Next type of devotee, you want to have your mind focused. In order to do that, you have to understand that the whole world is, in reality, God Himself. The more you understand that God is the reality behind the apparent diversity of the world process, greater is your mind's focus on God. Jigyasu implies inquirer. The more you inquire, greater is devotion to God. Or you practice devotion so that you succeed in your inquiry. What is real? Who am I? And the last and the climax of this is Jnani. Jnani, one who has full revelation by the intuitive intellect that God alone is. I am that. Aham Brahmasmi. So if you are practicing integral yoga, you are a blend of 4 types of devotees. Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, and Jnani. राम भगत हित नर तनु धारी, सही संकट किए साधु सुखारी, नाम सप्रेम जगत चपत अनयासा, भगत हो ही मुद मंगल वासा. Now, Tulsidas Ji goes on explaining that Rama as avatar was confined to a time, a place, and to certain types of people. Rama as a mantra is not confined. Rama, for the sake of his devotees, placed himself in human form and in human embodiment endured many sufferings. And through all this, he gave delight to saintly personalities. But devotees of divine name, they experience subtle spiritual joy anytime. And they become the abode of kalyan, abode of auspiciousness, goodness. Rama ek tapas triyachari, Naam koti khala kumati sudhari. Rama is well known to have given salvation to Ahalya. Sage Gautama had a very great wife known as Ahalya. And Ahalya's devotion to Sage Gautama was so intense that according to this story, Indra became jealous that this couple is going to rise to Indra plane. And the storyline, Indra assumed the form of Gautam Rishi and communicated with Ahalya in a romantic way. Ahalya didn't know it. But afterwards she realized it. And when real Rishi Gautama comes and he recognizes that Ahalya has as if deceived him, the real Rishi curses her that may you become a stone. And that stone like Ahalya was touched by Rama's foot and emerged better than before. These stories are, people take it as historical stories, but they are highly mystical. The soul within you and your feeling, the soul is Gautama Rishi. Your feeling is Ahalya. Together, You should not come under the sway of Indra. Indra is a movement towards heavenly enjoyments. When we talk of heavenly enjoyments, it means astral pleasure. Indra is not the goal, liberation. Indra is having fascinating astral experience and then coming back into the world of embodiment. So, every aspirant who moves towards liberation in divine plan has to be given trial, test. And Indra performs that test. So in this test, there was a little flaw. Gautam Rishi didn't trust his wife. And a wife could not recognize the deception. As a result, the feeling within you has faith, which is the life of your feeling, becomes like a stone. It stays inert. When you repeat divine name, the divine foot touches that stone-like feeling. It wakes up. Faith is awakened. And faith is awakened, the soul joins with the awakened faith. The end result is glory to God. I gave you the whole story, but there are so many mentions of stories, and I will relate to you accordingly. Otherwise, you will be trapped in story after story. So in the story of Rama, there is one remarkable sample before you. But in real glory of Rama, how many people are led to salvation, that you cannot count. So do not count the devotees of the Ramayana. Understand, those devotees are samples. ऋषि राम सुकेतु सुता की सहित सेन सुत कीन्ह विवाकी. For serving sage Vishwamitra, Rama destroyed the daughter of Suketu Yaksha, named Taraka, and her son Subahu, along with demoniac army. These stories will come later, so I'm not giving you details. As Rama grows, Vishwamitra takes Rama and his brother Lakshmana for assistance in the performance of a special spiritual yajna meant to help humanity. Each time Vishwamitra performed that yajna, demoniac forces came and obstructed. And among those forces in the early stage, there was a demoness known as Taraka. All these demons and demonesses, they are like short-circuited energy. Energy is always good. When short-circuited, it can destroy you. So, in the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, when a divine personality, an avatara, kills a demon, it is not an act of anger or violence, an act of divine love. Because the demon is killed, and out of the demon comes the released energy. The short-circuited stage is broken. The energy that's positive, in other words, negative qualities become sublimated. Your pride becomes sublimated into humility. Cruelty into compassion. Kill greed and generosity develops. So, whenever you hear the killing, etc., and release, you have to understand in this direction. Sahita dosha dukha dasa durasa dalaina mujimi ravi nishinasha. Rama himself had to fight against Taraka, her son Subahu, and the demoniac army. But his divine name goes on destroying the devotees, his devotees, for all times. And what does his name destroy? Dosh, defects of your personality. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. And Dukh, 3 types of miseries haunt everyone. Subjective, from body and mind. Objective, coming from the world around you. Act of God, like hurricanes, etc. Those 3 tapas that I have told again and again, and I will go on telling more and more. And durashas. Mind is haunted by so many expectations. And those expectations are boundless. You can never fulfill them. So every individual suffers from these 3 great defects, 3 great troubles: dosha, dukkha, and durasha. The divine name, uttered with devotion, leads to the termination of these 3. Bhanjau Ramaj Apu Bhavachapu Bhavabhaya Bhanjana Nama Pratapu. Sri Rama broke Shiva's bow to marry Sita. But the divine name breaks the fear of the world process for all devotees. To see Rama's breaking the Shiva's bow, you have to be born in Treta Yuga, be invited by King Janaka. You have to go through a lot of process to be in that assembly where Rama comes and breaks. I'm joking. And all that is impossible. But the reality is, you repeat the divine name, and the mind that is constantly being pulled by the world, that pull is the Shiva's bow. That pull is broken by divine name. Once that is broken, you become a real devotee of God. As long as the worldly pull is not broken, you can be a good person, having good karmas, but you will not become a real devotee, because you will go on coming back into the world until real devotion enters. When real devotion enters, you have broken that pull. The pull is now upward, Godward. What the Upanishad describes is Uttarayana, the northern path. Dandak ban prabhukin suhavan, janamana amit naam kiye pavan. Sri Rama turned Dandak Bana, the forest, when Rama was sent out into forest. He went into a forest where many sages resided, but those sages were constantly haunted by demoniac forces. Rama, Lakshmana, abiding in that place, they turned Dandak Bana into a garden of great joy. But the divine name can turn your mind into a celestial garden. Rama destroyed groups of Rakshasas, demons. But the divine name is the uprooter of all the demoniac forces of Kali Yuga. So the main idea is, reading the Ramayana, your mind should not say, I should have been there in Rama's time. That would be contrary to Ramayana's purpose. The purpose of Ramayana is to introduce Rama as ever-present reality. Shabari Geeta Susevakani Sugati Kinha Raghunath Naam Udhare Amit Khal Veda Vidit Gunagat. When you read the story of Rama, how Rama dealt with Shabari, a village, a wild-class lady, and she became one of the greatest devotees of Rama by offering to Rama berry fruits, but not in a civilized way. Every fruit she put her tooth onto it, without calculating how many bacteria are there. I'm joking. These are all allegorical writing. Putting a tooth on it means with deep devotion. You do any action and you offer it to God. But before you offer it, put your tooth onto it. Taste it. Did you do it rightly? If you didn't do it rightly, wait. Do the karma in a right way and offer it. Put a tooth mark behind every offering. Don't take it literally, otherwise you will have no teeth. But Shabari's example is only one great Shabari for Rama. But Ram Nam, when you are devotee of Rama through his divine name, there are thousands of Shabaris, millions, and you could be as well. Naam Ugare Amit Phal, Rama as embodied personality. He gave salvation to Shabari, Jatayu. Jatayu was a vulture. But the divine name has given salvation to countless personalities. Vedas constantly sing the praises of divine name. Ram Sukanta Vibhishana Do, Rakhe Saran Jan Sabko, Naam Garib Anek Nivaje, Loka Veda Var Virda Viraje. Sri Rama gave refuge to Sugriva and Vibhishana. The stories will come. Sugriva was constantly harassed by his brother Bali, and in the state of great distress, Sugriva befriended Rama, took refuge in Rama, and Rama granted him fearlessness. Rama gave him refuge and was able to destroy Bali that was after Sugriva. Same way, Vibhishana was kicked out by Ravana, and Rama, he took refuge in Rama. Rama gave refuge to Vibhishana and made him the king of Lanka. All that has a mystical meaning. It will be advisable to study mysticism of the Ramayana. Thus, divine name has showered grace on devotees. The word used here is called Garib. Literal meaning Garib is poor. Mystical meaning is people who have disowned everything and taken refuge in God. Nothing exists, nothing belongs to me. God alone is. Then you are poverty incarnate. The mystic poverty. Rama bhalu kapi katuk batora setu hetu shamukinana thora. Rama had to organize a vast army of monkeys and bears He had to build a bridge across the ocean in order to destroy Ravana. All that work was done to build a bridge over the ocean. But divine name burns up the ocean of the world process without having so many monkeys and bears. राम सकुल रन राम अनुमारा सीय सहित निज पुर पगुधारा राजा राम अवध रज राधानी गावत गुण सुर मुनि बर ज्ञाबानी. Rama destroyed Ravana along with his near and dear ones. Ravana is ignorance. His near and dear ones are forces of darkness, demoniac forces. And after that, along with Sita, he returned to Ayodhya. He ruled Ayodhya for a while, and finally he departed to heavenly world. But devotees, that describes the parallel, how much Rama had to do in order to attain Ramarajya. But a devotee, all that he has to do is to repeat divine name. Develop divine love. He doesn't have to go anywhere. Doesn't have to construct a bridge. The soul, blended with Vivek Buddhi, will attain moksha, liberation. Liberation is the real abode of Rama. Brahma Rama te naam bad, varadayak varadani, Ramacharit sat koti mah, liye mahesh jiye jani. Thus, the divine name Rama is greater than Nirguna Brahman as well as Saguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman, Brahman without form. Saguna Brahman is Rama himself, Rama as incarnation. The divine name excels them both. Now the point is made is, divine name is easily available. Saguna, Nirguna Brahman, and pursuing them, that's the most difficult task. But if you have divine name, automatically you are linked to God, you are led to God, both Saguna and Nirguna aspects. And you receive divine blessings. You receive the boon according to your expectations. If you are highly advanced, you ask the boon of bhakti, devotion. And when you have devotion, you are led to liberation. You are not highly advanced, then you ask for fulfillment of your desires. Shiva, reflecting upon this glory of Ram mantra, out of millions of Ramayanas. Now again, people take it literally that there were many Ramayanas. Mystically, what it implies, all the world is Ramayana. All scriptures are Ramayana. All are telling the glory of God. Out of millions of the Ramayanas, Shiva picked out one mantra, Ram. And thereby I have also explained to you that your Ishta mantra is same as Ram. What we are giving glory to Ram. If your mantra is Krishna, Krishna has the same importance. If your mantra is Shiva, Shiva has the same importance. Divine name, all mantras are same God. And that we have to understand. Nam prasad shambhu avinasi, saju amangala mangala rasi. It is the glory of divine name that Lord Shiva, who is imperishable and who is decked with inauspicious garments. Shiva is always presented as with a skull and a skeletons around him as Shivaganas, and everything around him is frightening. This is highly allegorical presentation of spiritual sensitivity. If you are spiritually advancing, you come to Shiva's state of consciousness. Shiva's state of consciousness looks at the world with the X-ray vision. If your vision has become X-ray vision, look at yourself, look at your bones, skeleton, look at others. And instead of being frightened, in spite of it, you deal with them with joy. The idea behind, again, I to understand that one develops vairagya. As you advance on a spiritual path, you begin to understand there's so much illusion involved in human expressions of love and affection. But behind those illusions, there is a skeleton. And you should not fall for those illusions. With vairagya, you have a sensitive mind that sees the illusory nature of objects and becomes interested in exploring deep into the substance. That's the definition of Vivek Buddhi. Sarvam duhkam vivekina. If you have developed vivek, discriminative knowledge, and spiritual sensitivity, God is the reality. But take God away, then the world is left like skeletons, ghosts, goblins. The whole world has no charm in it. But all the charm comes in because of God. So that's what Shiva type of consciousness comes to you as an advantage, as a result of repeating Rama mantra. So you have to be careful. If you like this development, follow through. But this Shiva type of development is the essence of millions of Ramayana, the essence of all scriptures. The scriptures want to give you divine eyesight. And divine eyesight sees the world as transient, the world as Maya, and is no longer interested in the world. Strips the mind of all pleasure that the world can give and directs the mind to the source of all pleasure, God, who is the embodiment of bliss. All that doesn't happen in one moment. But your whole life has to flow that way. Then the great sages, Shukadeva, 4 great avatars of Vishnu, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumar, Sanat Sujat, they were sons of Brahma. They are described as 5-year-old children, but completely enlightened. All that became possible because of the glory of Ram. People who have attained perfection in their sadhana, munis, sages, yogis, to all those who are enjoying divine bliss, This has been possible because of the glory of divine name. Narad janeu naam pratapu, jag priya hari hari har priya apu. Sage Narada knew the glory of divine name. The whole world loves Hari and Hara. Hari is Vishnu, Hara is Shiva, two aspects of God. The whole world loves Hari and Hara. But Hari and Hara love Narada. Figure that out. God is loved by the whole world. But devotee Narada is loved by God himself. It's giving you a unique relationship between devotee and God. God loves the entire world. But the devotee is loved by God in a profound way. And with this I will conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.